welcome back. Let's get into it. There's a new Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So this is going to be my prediction video for the February 2022 Nintendo Direct. Let's hop right into it. I think we're going to get I think it's going to be a disappointing Direct for a lot of people because I think everyone always has way too much stuff they want to see from Nintendo, which is like a good problem for Nintendo to have, but they don't do a good job of fan managing. I mean, they do the best they can. Fans don't do a good job of managing themselves, is what I should say. So I think first and foremost, we're going to hear something about Pokemon Arceus DLC. That game is super popular. It is turning out to be one of the best Pokemon games in a long time. People are really excited about it, really happy with it. And I thought for sure the graphics debate was going to be the thing that like kind of crashed that game. Sort of like how the Pokedex crashed the perception of Sword and Shield. So it's good to see that. I think we'll definitely see a DLC tease, probably not a whole lot about it, but I also think we will get an announcement for a Pokemon Company Direct. They always do a yearly Direct around now, so, and it usually was within a week or two of the Nintendo Direct. So I would say either next week or the week after it's going to be Pokemon. So we're going to see what the Pokemon Company has for us. And that's super exciting because are we getting a new generation? Like what's coming? I want to know. Everyone wants to know. I think the next big thing is we are going to get Zelda news, but it is not going to be Breath of the Wild. That is not a front half of 2022 game, if it's a 2022 game at all. Breath of the Wild will be holiday at best. My bet is it's going to take up the same place that the original Breath of the Wild did in March. It's a good time for that game to come out. I think March is a good time for Zelda. I don't think they need Breath of the Wild coming out at holiday to drive units. And they already know there's a supply constraint on their premium units. So there's a lot of reasons. Give that game as long of a time as it needs to bake and help the supply constrained console market by not having that game tied to the already busy holiday season. I think we also may get a new Fire Emblem game that will be in mid to late summer. I know Three Houses came out in August, and that feels like a really good time of year for it. It's right at the end of summer, right at the beginning of school. People are looking to start thinking about getting into their inside hobbies instead of their outdoor hobbies as we march towards fall here in the northern hemisphere. So I think that is something that is probably coming. We've heard a lot of rumors that there's a whole new Fire Emblem game coming on top of the remakes of Genealogy of the Holy War. So maybe we see the remake first, but I think we're going to see a new Fire Emblem first. What else have I got written down here? I think we're going to see something for Persona's 25th anniversary. I don't think Atlas is going to let that go unnoticed on the console. I think we are getting the fighting game in April. I'm not too sure on the date on that, but I don't think Atlas wants to just have a one and done for the anniversary on Switch. So I know a lot of people are hoping for P4. I hope we get P4 Golden. I don't buy it because it's mainline Persona games have been tied to PlayStation. Whether that agreement is still an agreement, it's what has happened every time. So maybe we get P4, maybe P3 on Switch for the 25th anniversary. I think a more likely situation is we get Persona Q and Persona Q2 ports from 3DS to Switch, which would be cool because those games were lost. I mean, especially Persona Q2 came after the launch of the Switch. So it is like lost to most of the world because everyone was buying a Switch, had already bought a Switch. Like, it came out like right in the launch window. So I think obvious things we're going to see Kirby gameplay because that game's coming out in a couple months. We're going to see Triangle Strategy gameplay because that game is also coming out next month, I think. We'll probably get a peek at Advance Wars since it got pushed. Maybe that comes out in May, June. That'd be pretty cool if we got a release date for that. I think we're going to get a release date for Splatoon 3. I mean, they say 2022, and unless that's the holiday game, you have to think it's probably going to come out midsummer, June, July, like Splatoon 2. Another good time for that game. I don't know. I just feel like it's a shooter and it gets it out. I think the worst thing Nintendo could do is get Splatoon lost in the mess that is October, November for first-person shooters. Like, let Call of Duty have that. Let Apex and all of those games have those big releases in November and October and just come out in the summer. Be cool. Just don't engage in the genre's busiest time because I think that is a great way for people to just forget Splatoon 3 exists. I think our one last thing is probably Xenoblade 3. Maybe. I wouldn't get your hopes up too much for Xenoblade Chronicles X. I'm not a fan of that game, so I don't feel like that's a huge loss to the system that we don't have it, but I know that game has lots of rabid fans who want it on the system, so I just don't think it's coming. I don't know why. I just think if they were going to do it, they would have. Like, it would have made sense to do it instead of a Xenoblade 1. Like, I don't know. So Xeno 3 is probably our one last thing. Maybe Bayonetta 3 is the one last thing, and we see something, but all the stuff on the Monosoft website leads to there being a game coming out. And I think the director of Xenoblade series said he has a game announcement coming in February 2022. So that's probably coming as the one last thing for later in the year. I wouldn't be surprised if Xenoblade 3 didn't get the Shin Megami Tensei 5 spot in December. That feels like a good spot for it. I think Xenoblade fans will be mad that I say it's a December game and that's a good spot for it, but it is a good spot for it. So, yeah, that's it. Those are my predictions. Oh, I got one more. I've got one more thing. Can you give me goddamn Style Savvy? Like, what is going on with this game? Sin Sophie has been hiring for years now. It was so popular on 3DS, and I just don't get how we haven't gotten a new Style Savvy. It feels like it is one of those games that was popular on the 3DS, but with how popular the Switch is, it would just like automatically the Switch version would be the best seller. Like, give me a port of the 3DS games at this point. Like, I just want to play Style Savvy. I don't want to have to carry around a 3DS to do it. So yeah, that's actually the end of my predictions. I don't think we're getting it, but I just wish you would give it to me. I will see you guys tomorrow on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/MissNintendoGeek64, where I'm going to do live reacts to the old Nintendo Direct. So until then, I'll see you there. Bye.